Hey everybody, this is Tiffany with Quick and Dirty Gardens, and today I'm going to show you my basic vegetable seed starting technique. Now, this seed starting technique will work with most vegetables or even flowers if you want, but you might want to check with your seed packet first. There is loads of information on seed packets and also sometimes inside the seed packet on the paper. So be careful when you open up your seeds because there might be more information on the inside. All right. First things first, you're going to need a container for your seeds in your soil. Now you might get fancy like I have here and get yourself a multi-cell seed starting tray. These are very inexpensive, and if you take care of them, you can reuse them year after year. Or you can just reuse the old 6-packs or good 4-inch pots that you had last year from some of the plants you bought. Save them. Make sure you clean them. We're going to wash them with a little soap and water, maybe spray them down with rubbing alcohol to make sure they're sanitized and ready for your new generation of seeds. I don't really like these natural fiber containers because they don't tend to break down as well as they claim. And so I find that the root ball just gets trapped. And if you're trying to peel it open before you plant it, then you might be doing some damage to the root zone as well. So I steer clear of these and I just use the reusable plastic stuff that I can clean every year. Now, for starters, you're going to want to pick a soil mix that says seedling mix or seed starting mix. This will ensure that there are no extra fertilizers in there because your seeds don't need fertilizer. And also it's a nice loose mix, so those little baby roots have plenty of easy room to grow in. Now, it's important to note that seed starting mix is very hydrophobic, which means it will repel the water. So what I like to do is first I'm going to fill my seed tray, and this is how I do it. I just dump the soil right on top, and then I kind of whoosh it over the top until all those cells are filled. Now I'm going to lightly tamp in there, just lightly. We're not trying to compact the soil here. And once you get as many cells filled as you want, you might not need the whole tray, okay? You're going to water it in advance. Now I'm going to show you what happens if you were just to water the top of this. See, it just beads up. It just beads up and rolls right off, and then that soil is still completely dry. So we're going to go in, we're going to fill the bottom so that it can wick it up. And once I fill the bottom up, I'm going to switch to the mist mode, and I hit it with a little mist on top to kind of get that action going from both sides. Now you're just going to let that sit for a little while until the moisture has absorbed into the soil. And once those cells are nice and moist, you're ready to start seeding. All right, so I've let the water wick into the soil, and so now it's all ready to go. So I've got my handy dandy chopstick here, and I'm just going to pierce a little hole into each one of these. Make your little holes. Boop, 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 boop. And pour a few of those seeds into your hand. These are onion seeds that I'm starting today, so they're teeny tiny. Now, some gardeners might tell you to put 2 or 3 seeds in each cell to ensure good germination or the option to pluck out if you have extras. But I know that these are this year's seeds and they're good and viable. So I'm just going to put 1 seed in each cell and just boop, that's it. You just put those seeds directly in the center of the cell. Boom, just like that. Proceed as many as you want. Now, it's very important that you label your seeds so you know what you're growing. You can either use a plastic plant tag or just a piece of tape. I will often save my plant tags from plants that I've purchased and then put a piece of tape on it so I can reuse that plastic until it crumbles. So you've got your seeds in, they're all labeled and ready to go. What's next? Well, I like to get a little cloche lid, which also is very inexpensive. All of these are called 10-20 trays in various forms because they're 10 inches by 20 inches. You can get the trays with or without drainage, which is very important. In this case, the bottom tray has no drainage so that I can hold that water in there. But then once that has absorbed, I will switch over to the tray with drainage so that I'm not drowning my plants. All right, so then I've got my little cloche on here. to keep it nice and humid. Then I have this really handy dandy seed starting heat mat. It is also 10 inches by 20, plugs right in and stays at a really consistent temperature. So I'm going to place my seeds right on top of that mat, turn it on, and wait for the magic to happen. All right, going to leave your cloche on for humidity purposes, and check your seeds occasionally to make sure that they're not drying out, that the soil is not drying out. And once those little bad boys start to sprout, you're going to need a grow light. That's right. You cannot put these in your windowsill. It will not work. Get yourself a good grow light. They are cheap and easy to find these days. Now, the trick to these is you want to keep them close to the seeds. All right, so I'll have my seed tray like this and my light hanging over it. And when those little seedlings start to sprout, my light is going to be hanging on a chain that is very, very close to the plants. And as they grow, you're going to raise your light.